Samfoni so anwumre nonsia na boy samro memu nsem bi de edi dika apade ufo konno krute de agungumem osemfo asem amana ye kroje eno na yabesi enkonwa enne anwumre ya ye betra se ne abo ache mako ede amamu ye kam se obene mboso me de to so mako edu ebako fi champimienu ene aduonu ensia ne boso me ensemu na yewe ententem so a www.owiatv.com sa enso na Owia TV official ewo TikTok Owia TV ewo Facebook sanso na Owia TV ewo YouTube bomode na follow na share na like na fo adwenche efa eto ase efa emayen ewo ehonomo ensme basumu don hwe bakwi de edimu akutini animu no ebi enie Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama ene South Korea mampanyi ne me no kase wonmo kwa pam edo monsa agye nkrata biase
Ghana mampanyi abedi achire Professor Nana Jenopoku Achimano wadi nkranhye ema se ya wonmo nkasem
obi a wope omen asase bia no enkraba ene nhye fofora aba ne se sika no mu no betua wo hane chimu no aduoso ansana mato aso
Wadi ya tu edwase aban sase ankrankra bia wonum ensa eka bi efiri amfimpinu ani dunsumu besi mfimpinu ani adununan wodi wonum nsem nyina eba betu bedwasere de
edom kuma wo man Ghana mrahye bedwafie se edom dodo no mechirem senti a Ghana ede ho ekobata America ban ema wonum ekototo paye ewo Nigeria
Edom kuma wo mrahye bedwafie ene wodi kwadu abo edom kase no se ase wonum suban a Wonumu ede na di ensema hodo a wasa donkuma na di tudwa awumrahye dwafie no wonumu esi kwan
P na eka ho ya Bolivia Enterprise odi enuane ababontena eboa manipadua gina namro so pa sanso ena dwabi rural bank meku emienu na esi atofo a awie anase anwumre yi yatena se ne de kase no mu nkyeremu yede ebremu akenkanfo benu a mobete yenka na mahwe yenye ene me abusia panyi owusu adumi mene
Nana Kwame Achiman Opambo
ententemu akase no enkyeremu yadika de atomo nim dada se Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama etia ne nachi ama wode nani achem ewo South Korea memu a enkitanwo ni nwumadie bebre nafuanum en wode asi wonma wokwa akodi nene de aba beto dwa na enkikyeremu abeka Owia Kaseɛ ensa ekyeremu a Korea mampanyi ene Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama sanso na Lin Jianyum wonmo atrase amomu benu no akọ asomdwe apemu a wonmo agye atomu a womasensan nkrata dwumadi a wonmo die ni ebi eye English kasem was maritime security climate change cooperation and afi digital technology English boni kan say memorandum of understanding eno na won makọ apama omagye atomu na ese kwan ye befa so na eba yensuo eso eposo ene ade a ye bebo dwumadi a yedi nyina eho ban bambo nsemu yagye atom sanso na abefo kwan ye befa so na ye bedi dwuma eno nso yakọ apama amani mienu ebegye atomu na niema atimi akonkan na aboa madibia aye fanye nenu na Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama abra asomdwe apami wo mu ewieye na okyekye ensemu no wodane botaye any sentia enne amanyi mienu wonmo akọ apami wodan die edekye
seafaring nation and the issue of piracy is of major concern to Korea just as it is to Ghana. And so I'm happy that one of the memorandums we're going to sign is to do with maritime safety. The Gulf of Guinea is experiencing several incidences of piracy, and so we'll be happy to have a joint framework. We look forward to signing a visa waiver agreement with Korea for diplomatic passports and official passports. This will make it easier for exchanges between our two countries.
John Dramani Mama kwanye befa so na aman mienu South Korea ene oman Ghana nkitamudie ayonkofa eda yentem no betimi agina ne namro so pampe na niema akonkan no enu nti no makwa apama hodoi
Ghana mampanyi abedi achire Professor Nana Jenopoku Achiman ene wadi nkranhye sem akọ ede ama ema nyina se wonum enyina wona so pintin na afei akwanya bi a wonum ebenya na wonhwe na wonfam se de be ya ema empuntuo ebi betimi aka omai Ghana na afei ewiase afa na nyina wode sa ensemi tudwa na ye ewiase amansan mu na ahodo binom a yayi ade asiwa ye de ekai ema mekire International Women's Day eno eho da ubo na wonum ehye eho fa kase enedue na namso a Ghana mampanyi abedi akire Professor Nana Jane Opoku ajumade sa ensemi eto ema enim nana wo kasa ewodwumadie no ase asemti a wono ede atoso ewopoto kasa mu no and was say from commitment to action promoting equity for every woman in the workplace na say ekwe betimi afaso ama wonum anya ahofama wonum atu wo ho asiwo na afi perepere ye betimi ada ne ho adi emiam ya hodo titiri ne nyuma ema wonum ewemu ebie eno na wo kire se ya na yetaka kasa bi se lonely at the top ti se de obi ede ebo no nyuma sake wose enikwa se ekoba ne sade benti ana wose wonko a okokotena soro na wudi ye da bi enikwa se ekoba ne sa se o kwa na waso obi nsa na woni se nipa ko na timi anante abom kama na aboa amwatumi akwakire anunti wo fasa akwanye so ahye mankran se wono mo wo ho so wono mo nyire wo ho esanse emanso ebetumi aye ensembia Professor Nana Jane Opoku ajimamampanin abedi akire wodi tudwa enie.
So let us not be satisfied with little. Let us push further. And I believe that we'll be making more progress, not only for ourselves, for our daughters, the younger women. Let us learn to embrace them. Let us learn to mentor, not compulsory by force, but this is important. And when you think that, oh, it's lonely at the top, why is it lonely at the top? Because you are the only one. What are you doing to bring others along with you? That should be our charge. What are we doing to bring others along? That way it will not be so lonely. Commitment to action, promoting equity for every woman in the workplace. I wanted to spend a bit of time on the workplace. Where do women work in this country? When we say the workplace, let's not only think of those of us in the offices with predictable schedules, salaries, benefits. The vast majority of our women don't have this. They are also in the workplace, in the markets. They are in the workplace, on the streets. They are in the workplace, in their homes. They also matter. In all of this, let us always be mindful that it can never be about us only. And when we have voices, let us use the voices in the interest of those who don't have the voices. I've never heard them go on strike because nobody will listen to them. And yet they have needs. Again, this takes me
Ghana mampanyi abedi akire Professor Nana Jane Opoku ajiman and ode to man animu say ye can in the office one more ete akache no enkyere sebi one more enuma no wo te office ahodo na afa air conditioning ebo fa wo ho papa na office asem enko na ye kan emomu no ema one wo fom one more wodwomu ton niema one more esejade eye one ma de bodwa ne de kan ho ni nyina omunyina eye ma a wo se one ekobom anunti one more atu enya dom na won maduru suro no se wo kasa won kasa emfama won mo wase a wonum enya sa ano no na atumi aboa amama ni nyina wonum atumi anyini abom
Osofo abedi ekira ohre yansa se ani emu abudi ensem so meche Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources ononyamfo Yusuf Sulemana wodi ensem bi aba betudwa ni nyina ye aban no gina ye ni wo muti mu pone ngyehye fufra wonom aya womode wonom ntoma abakire womo amhwe yansa se ensem so meche Lands Commission na ensem ni nyina ene se neye ngyehye fufra womode aba no ebeboa ama ansa na de friend se lisie krate ebedi adanse ne ye de bebanwo na yɛde mfie bi beto so asase we no ampa ɛyɛ opambo ɛna yɛ ne de akroje a woni obi empre ho no ansa na no ona watua ɛkanum sika yɛde anase bo ɛde gye wo no na watua ɔha ne ngikyemu no aduoso ansa kra ɛna wɔn bɛkɔ so na yɛde nkratasam na yɛde ama wɔde ama wo ni nyina ne wia nso wa wɔha ngikyemu aduasa na aka no nso no wɔn anya abotre na wɔn agye ne nkakra sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ a wobɛtuatua ni nyina ama bibia akɔnkan wɔn mo srem a botaye ntia mu didi dwumadie ne sɛ ɛbɛyi proye ɛne kankan ɛde afiri hɔ afei ɛto bia ɛwɔ sɛ ɛfiri mu na de kɔ aban akache na aban nso nsaka no nso nsa ɛbɛtimi aka ɛwɔ hɔ saa enso ɛna ɛbɛboa amagidie ɛwɔ nipa mu anase aban no emu a ɔmo de di nsase ho dwuma ɛwɔ memu no nso ɛno so otimi afro na akɔgyina pan bi na etimi aboa ma nneɛma etimi akɔnkan saa nso na ɛma kwan ɛma obia nso entimi ntoto nneɛma dansɛ mte dase abrawa na mama me kra so na me kɔ no enti wenni botaye titu nti eneye wɔn ma yɛ nsakraye na ɔma sanka nneɛma mu ama ɔmo de saa hyehyɛ yi ɛde aba ononyamfo Yusuf Sulemana.
Publication of the list of all public land applications. Publication of the list of all public land applications reviewed. We said to you that we reviewed over 8,000 applications, and some have been revoked. Those completed have not been revoked. What we are saying is that there is a need for the public to know who has acquired what, which company has bought what, and how much was paid. And so we're saying that very, very soon we will publish all the names of people who bought government land or public lands between the period under review. One of the key recommendations approved by Cabinet was the publication of all public land applications reviewed by individuals, companies, and organizations. In line with this directive, the Lands Commission will publish both completed and uncompleted public land applications reviewed on a region-by-region basis, beginning with the Greater Accra region.
For Yusuf Sulemana osofo abedi akire ore ensase ene emu agudie nsem so ena wakire kwan ya wo mo befa so se ne be ya aban nsase no de nokwasem nie yenkofpre na yemfom no se brato
na ononyamfo Yusuf Sulemana kroyan wode ato edwase ensase ahodo a ankrankro binom afenyumakuo se eye wonom a wonom nso ewo mbotom sika afri aban mu na wonom pese wotosa ensase no yeso adwuma efri amfimpino ane edunsu mu ebesi amfimpino ane adununan no ayade se wonom behwe na enche kura wode wonom nsem agunkrata so betu bedwasrede ama Ghana de hie nyina atumi ahumu bi na wobo amane ne wo kire se wei eyanamo bi a ahye ya wonom hye ensase sem ena afi obo ade bobrem niam so wonom etu ahye a wone wonum a eye adwuma edefa ensase ehon wonum betumi aka wontri apam se de be ya ensase ahodo de ye oman ne dia a ene akodi nipa binum nsem ena afa dia wonananom nsem ne de ka ho ni nyina wonum betumi aka bom no matoto niema pepepe na wo kire mu no ene wo se wonum hwehwe nkrata mu no na wonum ade abedanse wo mo epensase ne bi dia ye adwuma no eye be sempem wotwe ene akire wonum atumi anya adaje ene abotre asinkonwa doso mu a ama adrum pempenso bi a ewonum ana epensase no se eye ankrankro anase nwumaku ahodo no wode wo mo nsempa eba betu bedwasrede ama Ghana fo nyina atumi ahumu bi na aboa ama yensase no yatumi aboho bra eyie. Yusuf Sulemana.
Publication of the list of all public land applications reviewed. We said to you that we reviewed over 8,000 applications, and some have been revoked. Those completed have not been revoked. What we are saying is that there is a need for the public to know who has acquired what, which company has bought what, and how much was paid. And so we're saying that very, very soon we will publish all the names of people who bought government land or public lands between the period under review. One of the key recommendations approved by Cabinet was the publication of all public land applications reviewed by individuals, companies, and organizations.
Nipa yɛtini ni yɛsɔfo abedi akyira wɔ no na hwe yɛn nsase ɛna afɔ bɔ ade abobre wo nneɛma ɛso Yusuf Sulemana
abusua wɔ mfinhyɛm pimbienu ne aduonu enum ne yɛbronya bosome ne reto so aduonu nsia ɛna ebeto dwa sɛ American ban no abommɔden ama wɔn matotopaye ɛde kɔ Nigeria wɔn na wɔn botae ne sɛ wɔn pɛso topaye kodi wɔn mu nya ɛyɛ Islamic State a wɔn yɛ tutrafo dɔmfie ku a wɔn ɛha adwen ɛwɔ Nigeria memu ni ebibi memu ene adea na ohwe ase de omu asi etoto paye no ede koya Navy warship wo BGM 109 Tomahawk land attack missiles ye na wono moto ya wo ede koye enam no so ema enipa bebre na eto ananom ewo ensredo ewo mu na eno na akoye ake gbagba yese ai Ghana for crowd wono ntoma abache eye American ban ano na womo di kasubom na wono eboaye ema saa wo yene ekoso ewo Nigeria memu ene nam saa no so amenne edom kuma ewo man Ghana mrahye bedwafie ononyamfo Samuel abuginapo afre edom dodo no na wode atu edwa se animanimu ya obehwe se yebebo moden na empanyimfo ani ntini atwetwe wo mo no duruburu mu ebeba na woma ba bekiremu ensem na ekono no kurebe ne wom se Ghana ede wom ntoma ko bachire eye America man ema wom kodi eye oyeni ewo Nigeria.
There are very important questions to be asked. Firstly, what is the framework within which the Ghanaian government collaborated with the United States of America? We are reliably informed and we are reliably guided by the former Minister of Defense, who is on my right-hand side here, that at no stage in the 8 years of the Akufo-Addo administration did the government of Ghana get into any agreement with the United States to have Ghana be used as a base for launching military attacks in other foreign countries. So at what stage and through what legal mechanism or framework did our government collaborate and agree with the government of the United States of America to unleash a military action and airstrikes against a terrorist organization in a foreign country, Nigeria? That is the first question. The second question, if the government of Ghana entered into any such agreement with the government of the United States of America, the dictates and tenets of our national constitution are express and clear that such agreements must necessarily elicit parliamentary approval. And so if there was any such agreement, why has the government as yet not tabled that agreement before the Parliament of Ghana for ratification or otherwise? Thirdly, what are the national security implications for our country with this kind of collaboration? Does Ghana become a target of ISIS? Does Ghana become a target for other terrorist organizations? What measures have been put in place in Ghana to ensure that our citizens are protected and our national security is safeguarded?
We ononyamfo Samuel abuginapo na yetene nka ewo waka abedwaku ewo man Ghana mrahye bedwafi omre amonane ensamso na enumu no na wasofo hwe bambo ensamso defense minister Dominic Niti wudi tudwa wo kiremu sensama aye kan fi champion mienu aduonum bronya boso nda ne toso aduonu nsia ne ade no kwasem bia ne wa ewomuo Ghana ene America na se Ghana mfa ne ntoma enkobo America entoma no se wono enko tuo enfa nko Nigeria ane mumu eya yonkofa eda Ghana ene America wono entem ditiriwo asra adwumakuo no eno de da so gya nam so pampe ene ekapa eta abo apapo ni breki wose ene me ne wo ekaseye 14 armored personnel carriers no eye ahyan awodo a eboama Ghana Armed Forces me kira asrafo wo mu dwumadi a wo mu de betimi ama wo ho aye hare e obasahare so na aboa wo ma mo te dwumadi no wo mo de abre wo mo afei apam awodo a mani mienu asrafo ntitiwo atena se no makeka wo mo adwen de abom a wo makwa apam a wo mo de boa wo mo so se American ban anasa asrafo wo eye Ghana ha ebetutuo anasa topaye afiri wo memu e de akọ man fufuru mu a omu ni se tumi no e wo se omu di kan eyi Ghana so tire ansakra na ombe bibi sa wo ma ya omu ni wo mo a ometumi afa wo mu tumi so no mo di sa adwuma di nti sansem na ekwa etwago na yewra Samuel ebugina po ebisa no Dominic Nitiwu wo se no kwasem bia ni ho a e wo sa ensemi mu.
Let me state that Ghana has had the privilege to, and America has also had the privilege of signing agreements with Ghana in 1998, 2002, 2015, and all these agreements were put together in a document called Defense Cooperation Agreement, the Status of the United States Forces, in 2018, and I signed it on behalf of Ghana. In all these agreements, at no point was the United States or any other country allowed to use the territory of Ghana as a launch pad to attack any individual, any nation, any group of person, or any organization. In fact, for the United States to even bring armed military aircraft, you will need the permission of Ghana. For them to launch any attack, you will need the express permission of the government of Ghana, particularly the president. Unless the foreign minister is telling us that there is another agreement that has been signed between 7th of January 2025 and now, what he has disclosed to the world poses a serious risk to you, the citizens of Ghana, and to Ghana as a whole. We all want to help fight the terrorists. We all want to quench it. And we partner with various countries, including the United States. But no
Kane aswafo ano hwe bambo ensam so no chiremu sa wo ma ban ban ne se wo ma announce ho da ye krambo da se wo betimi amakwan ama America ban no aba betena o memu na je se wo ma be famra de ahye wo nsam wo ma yinemumu eya nhihye ya na eboa ema aman ne nyenu nyina no wo mo nkitamudie etimi ekonkan
Kanifo adima edonkuma no wo my Ghana mrashiri dwafi Alexander Afenyoma ken wo de ato eja wobo edom kese no ko adu se asa wonum edonkuma no NPP amanyukuo no wonum esha no waye ketekete enti no se ekoba se womu wonsem bi kan ewo mrashiri dwafi a edom kese no mafa kwan bi so no masikwan ma wonum nsem no yenkoka ewo honom wo kire se wonum eden krata hodo bebre na a wonum gina so ade ye adwuma ewo mrashiri dwafi a ye kan se order paper ede akwa akoto wonum a ebinu wo ho abesindei yenye ho adwuma na one nsentwerofo anedi nkomo anori Alexander Afenyoma ken kire se ase edom kese mrashiri dwafi no mu ne se wonum doso dodo anunti abre bia no wonum pese wombunkam ede efa edonkuma no so na wose wo tumura ne wa kiresie achere pa eyie ana wonum de krata bi koto mrashiri dwafi honom a na wo pese wagi nkyiremu ade free aban mu esanse wonum animise Ghana adehie bi a ye fa wonum ko nyumaku ahodo mu edruba bi ama aban a watie adwaso be ka asesa nkofo no sebe wayi wonum adi wo monkope ba bi entena eno ana donkuma ne kyerese wo de krata ekoto mrashiri dwafi anka wo pe ho nsemisa ne nkyiremu edi efri abamu na so sa order paper ne besi ne yenhwe enka ho asem ensem bi Alexander Afenyoma ken wodi tudwa enie
directing that recruitment that took place after the election should be terminated. However, state agencies decided to go back to 2017-18. People who have been in the employ of state-owned institutions, not just the civil service, since 2018 were sacked. Attempt to bring this matter to the public space remains frustrated. The first was a preliminary objection by the majority leader, and when we filed an appeal, though the appeal motion was allowed, but the debate is still in abeyance. The motion was moved, seconded, and one contributor was taken. It's been 8 months. It always appears on the order paper. We are unable to take it. Why? A motion was filed in good faith, in accordance with the rules, in respect of Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board. Since December, same was admitted and advertised on the order paper. We have been in session since we have resumed. This is our 6th week or so. Government businesses have found space, but the single business of the minority is yet to be taken.
Ayo penyina wota edom kumana no my Ghana mrashe bedwefio sanso ye futu abato pesu aso mrashe bedwani owura Alexander Kwamena afanyoma ken wode sanse metudwa no akiri no na okọ edom kase no afamu a wonum nso akasa na wonum ekire se Alexander afanyoma ken nsemu a wode atudwa se ase wonum dom kase no obese wonum de omudom no ebunkam efa wonum edom kumana so no enti sa de biera da nemum no Roxanne Nelson Dafia Mapo ewodom kase no afamu ene wode atudwa se ono de ochichiri kwadu ene ntansa na ode babo owura afanyoma ken no ase wono ankasa se kandifo ade madom kuma no ene wonye na djuma yenti a ama akoba ne sa Roxanne Nelson Dafia Mapo.
If you neglect your duty, it's not my duty to ensure that your private business is done. So you cannot fault the majority side for the pendency of your motion that is ably be moved by you and ably seconded. You can't fault me, you can't fault my leader, you can't fault the House. Because it's a private member's motion. And as a private person who sponsored the motion, it was your duty to ensure that the debates continues as it is. So as I speak, the motion, the debate continues as we capture it in the order paper. So it is duty to make sure that it's carried, and more particularly because he's also a member of the business committee. Business committee arranges business for the House. He's a prominent member, and that is why he ensures that every time, for every week, that motion is advertised. But if you don't pursue it on the floor, it is not my business, it's your business. That's why it's a private member's motion.
Sisi wakasai ayawuko edom kase no fam wo mrashe bedwafia wono ene majority no won mu chief shape owura Roxanne Nelson Dafia Mapo.
Yadi atumo anim dadra se omen sika eye opepem aduosia enwotwe achipo enso 68.7 billion Ghana cedis panyimfo ni ntini agitwo bro Ghana abomoden amoma yenhwemu ma papa na nhwemu ya wonmo eyewie ne wonsam ababeto man Ghana mrahye bedwafie enam so ama owura wono ya chameni abedi eche Bernard Ahiafo wono so abo eche de ama public account committee se wono so nko no mo nko trans no mo fo mani kutu abi se o mienu santemo enkonkohwem eno na nam so ama public account committee ekuo eba onyamfo kwasi konedu wode ababeto dwa se Ghana fo nko makomanto yam enwetwemu mapabia wose wo mo je agine wo mo ne sede samansama ne tamfo nsuo no wo mbebo mode no maye obi e wose wo mo frɛ no wo mbɛfrɛ no de wose obeyi na no wo mbɛfrɛ na ma waba de wose wo mo bisa na kosa na wo nso eyi ano no ono nso wo mbebisa no no ayi ano wose Ghana fo nko makomanto nsan se Ghana yesi kasem no eda wo makoma so a ensam na abetodwa no wose wo nya botre no wo mo gono no se mpompa agono ne yede aduro kwata so ama na paye no wo dotre no wo mu hu ebiemu ehu ne ebiemu pa enti Ghana fo enke akoma entiyem.
Timeline has been given. I believe in any matter from today, a schedule will be done so that we can sit and have a hearing on this report that has been referred to us. Our duty is to go into the report and make sure that all the allegations or all the findings that have been made are well interrogated, and individuals involved in it are also given an opportunity either to confirm or exonerate themselves. Because I believe that once allegations are made, yes, we cannot conclusively say, because I've been on the committee for a very long time, and I've been doing auditing outside Parliament for a very long time. These allegations should be raised, but it's a matter for us to go into the details. I am one person who is for accountability. So whatever we need to do to make sure that all of these things that are found in the special audit report will be well interrogated to the fullest, so that at least the Ghanaian people would have value for their money if indeed there are excesses in some of these transactions that were made. So let everybody be rest assured once these referrals have been made, we do a diligent job as we always do and make sure that we make every individual accountable for his or her actions.
For Ora Ononyamfo Akwasi Kunedu awono eka public account committee ho na yetini nkano.
Osofa wo share fisembambo eso ayowura Muntaka Mubarak wodi ato edwase Ghana for enkyere na won mu bie kwan adeto se wo mu a epese ekowura bambo enyimakuo ahodo mu no won nkofa won krata na won kruche wo ho nsem nyina emfa emusunese yesone so na se ebi ka won ne wo ho so nsa abroba wonum atumi akonya bambo enyimakuo ahodo ni mu na won nso akɔhye aye adwuma wo kyerese ennei nipa wobetumi akase wonum fa omo ewo nyuma mu no eye nipa mpimnum enipa mpimnum ana wo fa wo kyeremu a wonum bie kwan adetu mu no Ghana mabunu a wonum kofa nkrata se wonum pese okowura posi anase bia immigration de ka ho adwuma mu no eye empem ahanum ani nsia ahansia ane nwotwe 506,608 edi so hwe nipa bebrebe ya wo kyerɛ se womo ye ne sa na afi omo asone so ebi eye medical screening ani ebedo chiri ahwehwe nipa duam sa akwai ye de ne kwa wonkotwa wonkoyese ni ade ti yedoso mu a ne yahwese perepere ye betumi aye adwuma anu nti na won mu tu sa na mo no wo se enipa pii na kofa nkrata ade nanso mprempren ba bia egiran Ghana ye betumi afamu empimunum ne nkyere mu wode tu dwa enie.
The police force that we have, the number that we have, just as I mentioned, 49,000 plus, immigration about 18,000 plus, fire about 17,000 plus, prisons about 14,000 plus, narcotics control about 3,000 plus. When you put all of them together, they are less than 100,000. They are less than 100,000. But even that, the wage bill on them is about 13 billion. So if the resources were there, I mean, I would have been the happiest person if we were able to recruit about 500,000 more security people. But let's be practical. Will our economy be able to absorb that? We all know that practically that is not possible. If you have a police of 50,000, can you really take 130,000 and add to an existing 49,000? So this is where we found ourselves, and I want to plead with the rank and file of our youth to appreciate that. That's why we introduce a number of other measures that we are hoping into the future may even help us as a way of screening them.
Eno echino ana swafo isanso di tudwase Ghana mabunu no wosre wonum a ewomu se wonum penyuma na wonum ayede nanso bambo enyumakuo no womonko a entimi emfa wonum nyina ewo enyuma no emo anu nti wo chemu se wonum de nhie bi eba de ba beka achire kura nipa be se empem aduonunum ana wonum betumi enya enyuma ni bi na wonum aye na wose anu nso da nchen a wonum pese wo fa kwan bi so ema wonum a ekwa akohye bambo nyumakuo ahodo num foforo no wotumi atete wonum ekyerɛkyerɛ won adefa nimdie bi a wose wonum nsaka efa bambo ho wose ebi eye wonum ankasa suban ebi eye wonum ahoɔden ɛna eba wo mo asetrem sɛ de omusifa so eye wonum niema ni nyina ɛho dwumadie eye ade a wo mu doso no wose we ya wo ye no eye sɛ ombetumi anya kwan pa enkɔfo edi sɛ fata sɛ wonum ekowura bambo enyiwakuo ni mu no obetumi anya sa wonum ne nsɛm a ɔkafa ho eni.
The president instructed that, look, those who qualify and pass medicals, let's keep the data. This is the first phase. We are hoping that maybe later in the, because remember this current recruitment that we are doing is a 2025 recruitment. Hopefully when we are out of the IMF, we could do the 2026. So we'll pick from that same data. Hopefully, if maybe it's past 6 months, then you can only ask them to repeat medicals, but not to start opening the process all over again.
Owia Kaseɛ ayewura Muntaka Mubarak oye omai swafo a wo hwe afisem bambo eso
wato so na wabo emaburu ya won bogi twi eje trada eni adwuma ye niska enso yaji wonum sika ansa na wonbeto form si na womunim nipa dodo wonbefa wom na enso na won atwa won sa abe aguyi Watch a one bus or Moncoma command to Muyam. A band with just a water, send a bear where a battery when you're dear free international monitoring fan. I am a phone. Now you're feeling free one fish, jumping near the noon seeing one bessa as a Chinese subium, no more asa a fenny pa. Ghana man penny John Dramani Mama, Eddie at 1 when himself 1 when the year, one room a bedding kunimu, a war, a year medicasano, one with the woman crata, some more data no, a beguo, na a bar woman moma aquenia.
The president instructed that, look, those who qualify and pass medicals, let's keep the data. This is the first phase. By the time the deadline for application was closed, and this is very important, there was a total of 506,618 applicants. Over 500,000 Ghanaians youth were urging to be able to join our security service. This is an excellent thing. People who want to come forward and be able to serve their country, which is a very good thing. But as all of us know, out of these over 500,000, there was over 130,000 applicants to the police alone. The police force we have is 49,000. Yet we had 130,000 young people wanting to join the service. With the Ghana Immigration Service, by the time we closed the portal, to our utmost shock, there were more applicants to the Ghana Immigration Service than even the Ghana Police. The total of over 180,000 young men wanted to join the Ghana Immigration Service. But the interesting thing is that today, the Ghana Immigration Service, the strength from the Comptroller General to the last officer at immigration stands as 18,300.
Ononyam for Mubarak Muntaka Muhammad as one semi achebedwania wasari afisem nsem so ene yeteni nken ye kwa homa no so na ewo ensem ye mu no ye ne Yera Richard Kumado ye ne no akodi enkomo edia afa ho opanyini wotemi nka wadarumo sawre sofa enhyehyɛ ni dwumadi a wasofo re afisem so won modi edia afa mabuna epe adwuma hu ene wo mo a wo mu nya asa akwanya madam asai ena wusi esobufa.
You know, every recruitment process, 4 stages. First stage is a better form not to meet manual and answer digital. Second, examination of documents. On so to me, digital and answer manual. A third one, aptitude test. Aptitude test, to me, manual and answer digital. The manual, and just watch your pen and paper. Transit or marking. But the digital, which is a computer-based test, ultimately was centralized place. Yet me can say mobile prep college, and I say prep hall. Now you set up computer labs. No be a transit no need. 2 people may not be answering the same question because some of the questions will be a good computer. Now ultimately remote so with your phone and your laptop. What is important about digital platform is we are not one resource. Then the last stage is vetting. Vetting is 3 AIs. I back background checks. 2 interview. 3 medical. Ultimately at the same time, and I say one after the other. And so that is the standard procedure. The reason is when it comes to law enforcement agencies, they don't just pick people based on academic qualification. There are several things they look at before they pick people. So that is one. Digital platform guy now, Minister Kofa Bayano, almost need capacity to do background checks and also to do interview. The reason is in this country, there are only 2 agencies who does background checks for the state, the BNI and the police. And so why should the police do your work for you and pay you at the same time? It is not right. That is the thing. Okay. Then we should have to test no mucho one for results number and a red flag. It is also one of the reasons why there's too much trouble in the system. Because also me passy also my failing those are the things. Now minister because what he's saying do not align to the aspirations and the expectations of the applicants. And to
oh, okay. So we said the debia na musi wo kana say eba adwuma enho akwatwe na mabrunya binya da mo kan brofo bi say a security threat unemployment here e kwan be na ebetimi afa so na emabuna.
There are several ways of creating jobs. There are several ways of creating jobs. Politicians are far their ways about security recruitment, no more the year campaign, no more the year nyama be brave, and I create a problem na my That is why it's created a problem. If you know you take 5,000 people, why will you not give 1,002 to politicians and allow the police to recruit 1,002 people with specialized skills and allow them to flow to the 1,008 to almost political godfathers and godmothers? Now, other 1,000, almost a year, almost general knowledge. Any problem, yeah. Now say said the police are only supposed to recruit only 500 people. Meaning, with the kind of leadership of police we have today and the technical abilities they have, are you saying that police people cannot recruit 500 people? That they will need a third party? Nasaba security area where third party background checks are very, very important. Third party no mudi buy as digital platform guy no. And in a bien fire background checks, police fire before say or started jumanana. And now say Attorney General signed a data protection legal agreement with them before the data was handed over to them. And who is going to pay that agency? Is it the 200 guys in it now? Because 200 times 500,000, that's about 100 million. And now say agencies no will pay. No. No, Minia, no.
AI, yeah, one day aptitude test.
Minia, there's nothing like AI. When I was joining the BNI, the 80s and the 90s, the true aptitude test, and I've just explained to you how aptitude test is done. Is it not? Aptitude test is called computer based. In the 80s, in the 90s, was something there like AI. So let's not bring that angle of AI. Somebody is trying to create problem, political problem, because who can AI? Then you are talking about manipulation and dotting. But we know you're computer based. That is the way it is done all over the world. It's computer based, and two results not pop up. Why did you hold up the results?
Some is all for being with sunset. So now I bamboo me call him say nipa bese and piminum 5,000 number for woman one more ton forms be brave man mebuna or
in any case, some military 4-year recruitment. Did you hear any noise?
Ma minti bibiasa.
BNI 4-year recruitment. Did you hear any noise? Is it not because politicians involved? That is why I be saying, say, take politicians away, far away from security issues, because they create too much problem. Meaning, say, when NPP was in power, they created a problem for the law enforcement agency. Some of the things they did, we cannot speak about it on air. Too horrible. Too horrible. And you are degrading the system within 5, 10, 6 years. If we don't patch it up, we'll be a serious problem early in the morning.
Now you bet me a year without politicians.
And God knows when we'll go. We all came to do our best. When we leave, we all give an account to our maker. And for some of us, it's a passion, it's a ministry, and we've done it extensively well, effectively well for all these years. So if black people wouldn't get sense and continue doing this way, they should continue. Thank you.
I was for Yanni Richard Kumado and Ekobo and Kumi Obo. Media no kwasimni. Because Babuni near Jumo.
Nipa wo pe Jumaye. Na watu susune kakra. Na unimu say you bet me afa nipa mpimu 5,000. What's my ton form? 506,000. Kakra kura say egu achi. Na sabi o say what 100,000. Entinka o 5,000 no kura entinka wunya.
That is the problem.
What ye mfa ne say obi wo ho a obeko. Apomuden ne de eke kan e bia wontumi mfam.
Sa.
Na ya sone so. Endu pe say o chem say what 100,000 kura na say 50,000. Tu wunya nipa 5,000. This say wo koton 506,000.
Dia rehu wo ni se no wo fa se ba ko ka ho na ye de ntu sunwan. Onim obia wo sunwan. Ti wo so ko high hotel. Okodi more than 1 week. No kwotena mu di obedie na kasi ka ode be ko stadium akoye sa na nyina no aye ne ka. Look at all this.
Na say obi anu wo ka wo se baby aba na eye pending. Obeko ye se pending no. Sa abusuan omusi ho no na se wutumi tua etumi famu no.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Me fan so omobro for sem.
Allegedly.
It is alleged. Nti sa na etie wo ho no. Jo abusuan to Kaseɛ bɔ no eso corporate affairs officer edi ema adwumaku a wonom esone fango so ewo my Ghana mutema oil refinery owura Godwin Mahama ayaba wode ato edwa sei wonom ehwe adum kwan sɛ anka wo kɔ fango na dwoso honom a sɛde wonom sinane ankure bia bɛsɛ empema aduonu nwɔtwe ane akire da bia no obetumi apagem ade akọ empem aduananum wose wei eye anamo a won mutu ahwe de aboa se de be ya fanwo a yepa bi ade djuma e wo my Ghana mu no abre bia yensa ebetumi aka bi na Ghana fo ebe hye ne nso enchere ena mpanyimfo ebo amane se tema oil refinery ananka atofom tim no ene wonum atimi ayenhye a wode eniema pa ato akwema ma afiti ase na ene fanwo ye kra edeba ene crude oil kakra efri omanu ni ade ni nyina no omatumi esone bi so a eno ene wo hwe ene kwanse emprempren ba bia nanka ejina no eye empem aduonu nwotwe se ankure bia mutumi sone so da bia nanso mu pejam adekọ empem aduananum a eno ebetumi aboa asemi ho yeguso ehwese yensa ebeka owura Godwin Mahama Ayaba oni amansan edinkita ho edmatema oil refinery na yatumi akasa ewo ho na enamo a wonu atuba bi omufri ene ba bi o mabeduru yensa kana watumi achechire mu
Abusua yɛnto so na yɛmfa naseɛ ɛmfa ɛma Dwapin Rural Bank a wɔnom edwadiedie ani sikasɛm dwadiedie wɔnom abi mu yie pa yɛ okuni ebu mu anya asɛm ketwa kra besɛ sɛ wo pɛ bank bi na ne adi sika ho dwa na ɛnɛma akɔnkan yɛ benya abotre de wo bɛtena se ne wakyerɛ nɛma ani so a Dwapin Rural Bank bi hyɛ duanan ba ko ni ɛne wo magyina mu pampe sɛ abele aba kyɛsɛm fumso bia ma wo ho ne ade a ɛno nti wobɛtumi abɛyɛ shareholder na waba bɛka bank na partners no na nɛma atimi akonkan ede amawo income emfa so bebre na obenya ede afa ho ewo hono saa nso na scholarship ahodo ni nyina betimi aba amawo ma atimi anya bi ede akọ school fidi a wo mre ewo hono Refi say and fixed deposit no ye bosumi miensa bosumi nsia ne bosumi dumienu ene na wo ama abọ ho ntane ntafo ne ade nya asem keto akra eno nso betumi aba na wabetase ye de ne edafo mboko na wo ne edi enkita ho ewo hono na ne ma akonkan betumi afre wo 0242 387498 0242 387498 and now *389 *984 na wa dale na wa follow instructions no what to share se
Abusia yensan kwa masone ne Yewura Godwin Mahama Ayaba eni enko opani majo ayem wakwa abade ba Owia TV enwere nsia kase ebosu
ya me nua bema
yo me da se papa yeni nkomo e to mo de asi mo ni susem wo hwe animu se anye bia Ghana hada bia mo betimi anane fango nim be se ankure no di free empem aduonu nwotwe e de akosi aduananum ekwan be na mbefa so a mo betimi eduru sa mo botai eho
me nua ma me encha na me motiefo ni na se de ina yenim no Tema Oil Refinery, they constructed here in the year 1958, you know. Now, the capacity is 28,000. But here, you know, you expand the capacity no every 28,000 at the core 45,000. So all along, total capacity, I in 45,000 before. Ebe dum pempen so na enye adwuma no na 45,000 and so enne a yasanse edwumadi ase no because infidie no ada ho ache ansa na ye franda ne daniani ama anne ababe ye adwuma ma ye no da hye ase se ye refine 28,000 and so there is a new machine your friend furnace. So your furnace 1 and your furnace 61. Currently, no, you use furnace 1 no, and I are connected the crude distillation unit. I don't know furnace CDU, no, and on our airborne 28,000. But there is another furnace. I have furnace 61. And no, and I hear a word you might every year. The whole year Adom yen ana abrewa eyi pumakwan mu a we be by the end of next month no the that furnace 61 I furnace F61 no the ba be ka the F1 no ho na ni na any crude distillation unit no aye adwumanti no na se ye de be ka ho a 45,000. The same furnace no And also be boama yetimi movie no from 45,000 to 60,000 in the medium term.
Koba ne se Ghana yete se tema oil refinery mpanyimfo atumi ayenhye amase age na so no. De dodo na ebisa ne se ene ye de be na atochima wo ho nti a matumi de nhye ato akwama me bedu mpempen so afedie yesa be na ne fa ngoni bi mu biemu.
You see, Jumedie bia obi bia peso di bia no ye woni ma mienu. Aya boama wo Jumedie betimi akon kan anaso enko enkan. One, about we need to add the protocol your friend of vision, and at the sang account the friend leadership. So I think for the past years now, idea refinery no LRK was initially any leadership. And nothing proud to the last election no, and more parties call airborne to us Ghana front to Obama one. Baku SNP say on there to eda the niso or ni tade hunu emato no 2015-2016 na to ye adwuma no osan bet mama to asan ye na adwuma biom na me nta de ye ko abato ni wie ye no Baku edi nkunim sa Baku no di nkunim no no na o share bo say oba o make sure say to be gina ni nine so. And then, me no say that leadership and that vision, no, or say, I born opposition, no, and na, or make sure say, etimi aba, amameno ina, yedi o home komo. Two leadership issue near, or by ya or power. In penny for my boana, my waiting me boo or mine. Or Shimua who say, you are branch to be a friend, Edmond Combat Esquire. Officer the initial deal hunu branch na so de no bato obetimi aboa ma the initial deal hunu etimi abem amagana fuenya so emfa so nti opawo no and opawo the deputy efeno Alhaji Mustafa Patalima Abubakar so ombra no be bonechi edom na adwuma no enkoso ampan so opawo no omobaye omode osie aye oyo amanne So basically, previously it was an issue of lack of leadership and lack of vision. And previously, na to no edaho na said ya ade a udi ye juma enye yi enuntina can it be 2-3 years ago nanka omo ton no $22 million. E dey ama ankra because no musu say to no udi ye bibia enye yi. And so now me no ka say leadership aba in place no that same poor ananka 2-3 years ago yet on $28 million no before the last quarter of last year that same company let me generate internally the IGF $21 million. So that should tell you that these two things were lacking. That is why now for the past years not all any one.
Joe Opanyi yedasi ye papa sen mre wajebre na oni ya twinkomo.
What me da mo say?
Jo, abusia ye ne corporate affairs officer at the Matema Oil Refinery, Godwin Mahama Ayaba, and the Kodisa and Komo yen free tour and semini na yemfie ni enche ensanfofromu. Chairman want to me Owia Bernard and Tribosi akusese na ni abere pa se NPP amanyukuo no. Omamuni nyina won muntu aba emano no melititreni no no ne betimi ayenhye pa ade aboa amatumi a NPP amanyukuo no pe ewo mfimpi no ane adwini nwotwe mu no won mu nsa atumi aka na ogusu a wobo entoa ade ne nsem eto omanfo anim na wakurukuru akrakra kopie mu ewo tamale ane adehye a won mu atifidu mantamu akohye mu a won mu adi enkomo ane wo kyerese wasom ewo asante mantamu se opanyina weje tirani di ma NPP amanyuku na afedie won se ne ntaba no afu kwasoro yie papa a enei so mu de omamu ni nyina titirani di bia ne hye ne nsa adwuma no obetumi aye eno nti so mo po obi a obema mo nsa aka tumi omo hwehwe ne dia ene na Owia Bernard Tribosi akoche ma wuntumi ene wo se wonom ebonichi dom na ensem bia Owia Adam Mohammed Samba wogina mu a wode atudwa enie.
Today is the day of my brother, the incoming national chairman of New Patriotic Party, Chairman Wontumi. I want to appeal to everybody here to support the party, to support the power for 2028. It's only one person who can be our national chairman and give us power for 2028. One year honorable Chairman Wontumi.
Say aye panyina wono ene gina mu na ode ensem atudwa edema owura Wontumi ewo tifi mantam ahenkro tamale emu owura Adam Mohammed Samba na yemfa kaseboyi emu na sebi enko enfama ya Bolivia Enterprise. Bolivia Enterprise se ope aduane pa wo bedi na beboa mu apomode ho nsem atumi adeto yedi a na a future life smart food ho asem ene ye ka kire no wose eboa ebusi immune system ne kama and esan se fiber protein and vitamins and minerals ni nyina no ebi wo mu kama nti abre bia ne se wudi future life enuane pa e future life smart foods na eboa emwa pomode ho nsem etimi adeto yi ani ji sem ne se ne yenye den abre bia nso no se anadwude so mu kra na komde wo a wutumi esore na we wade edi enu ane se wudi ensuo egu ho ewo adiem ne wanumu a na afi wadi kama enu nti emu efo pa aya na wahwe mo akiri kwan ewo sofulai alignment odi wani akiri mo patase kwan ne sofre wonom ewo 0242 878090 and 0246010150
abusia yentu akasia no so emfa emamo me yade ba ko edi enya pa keta hye proye ne kankan nti aban bia ba ya ne agire ye ni krogen e de hwe sade ye be ye niema besi akọ wo saa aban no keta hye ne proye ne kankan afemu meno kasai ekuo banu aka bomu amekuo imienu won ma ye nhwemu mapa wo mo de ababeto abonten Conrad Adinua Stifton Cass and womo etwom tia ye frɛ womo sanso na Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration Jimpa and a womo yesa nhwemu a wono edi ye na ababa betodwa womo so womo atonidin say stock taking of Ghana's democracy na eno enene ababa betodwa sa wo hanin chichemu no aduanan enan echipo enum 44.5% wono chiremu a ene John Dramani mama ene NDC amemu yimu no kwasem nie bonsamati kwatantani nyangopo ani mo fe keta hye prani kankan no wono mo bo modern pa wone kun mu a kono yi pa sa enso na wono echiremu a wanje chemu no edunan echipo enkono 14.9% wono so se ene womo de nagina pa bia esunye na kropa a chese school no koya excellent watwa wapase amana abroso ewo honomo nanso ni nyina mu no Ghana fo guso a won mo hwe animu sempanyimfo bekura won mudie mu wo ma hye won mo so na wo modi won mo so na wo bemma niema mu ada ho fan ewo akontabuo mu na afei ama niema atimi akonkan ya nhwemu eno so abetodwa efa keta hyehye eho
ewo afo no anafo atoye famu eye Dr. Jerry Adu Amankwa na wodi ato edwa efa ahodo bi a wonum efamu ewo mansin wosi eno eka ho bi ene ma ye de obi eba se o meye adwuma wa apomudin mu a sa nipa kono ompese obeba na ebi okafa ho eye wonum a ebeye adwuma wa apomudin mu no behwe ba bia betena ne ade obekwa akobisa ba bia dan no ne buo no na eye dendenden ni chese wutua enye yi enu nti wade adesrede toto manfo enu sese ko ba se obi ba na obeya apomudin mu adwuma edan ni ba bia obetena de omungum emfama se de beya omanfo no ebetimi anya ahoto de sansemi tudwa wa abra afia no efa bia no aya wonum eko emu enhyiam
niema ni bi o ha ebi o ha hard to reach area inti hard to reach area uhia se motorbike uhia se car uhia niema ebetimi edo akọ enkanka motorbike no because ehwe area mu ha motorbike no a number na e wonusa inti enu nti ama ye ntimi anko to the most interiors to help them aha no ya ade ba ko a etimi si ye kwan ama yentimi enu ye mbotae no niema bi so ye bi o ha malaria ne ho nuru ne bi o ha nuru bi se be ye bi free be bi be ba no ansa na bitimi akwa kudru feze how to reach areas no ba bi a ebe pray ansa na yedu no nyina ye hia emo a bitimi de akọ nti yentimi ankwa e bi o ha wa yare wo hu yare no but ho aduru bia na akodi baabi na ansa na bitimi aba no eno so aye how nti saa ne manema we enim se any other things that ka ho enu nti ama yent na ama yentimi anu butae no but yakọ ye nim kakra aha ade ba ko a ohwe ye top 10 ade na e wo soro pa ye malaria malaria yare a
no and a doctor Sansuri to just say Adiaba ko Sanso adwene say oko ersam ya hodo ni bi nu wo ho a awosan kama obabi omoda na emema so obabi omoda nanso be ko baabi no na emma ne mama nyina wonom edadan krom
boy the GDP say stakeholders and say other organizations so wa kwanya say akwan no ho a omo betimi aba boy na yetimi aye facilities no eyi na yetimi age ahoho recently see males, females, children's ward and detention center e wo yoso and also so assembly board ho modern pa say e betimi complete within the next before the end of the year say ne be ya e betimi age ayare for no bebre nti oba to ha benya ba bi ada say ne but currently ne de umunyina use nan ba ko nti ebi o ha no kwanti kura it push them away ba na mema ne nyina nti se yi ne de nim say no be wi no sa ha no nyina e be free ho
Manchefo wono ene hwapo mudin sem so ewa afo ano southwest mensini mu Dr. Jerry Adu Amankwana no disem yachi no ene deputy director a wono nso eba anesifo wono mo esom so a woda ano wompotem ho eye maame Mary Ajay wono nso di bi kan ho efa ohodo a osusa pomudin adwumefo no wono mo efa mu
omo ba nanso enso ye ni saa empempi dodo na eba uno mbedi nkomo na akoyes kasam Emano dodo na we empotamu ha no nya adwuma etu bi sana na mikunu ni ho na miniska obeba wo behye no bi abosome san bra wo behye nani ma omra no na bosome miensa na emere kora ya so amana wo na wo se moja mu hwemu bi ho kora wo sanka oyema wo na uhunu ne ekọ na bibi o ha waso ano ntem na wo ntimi ameye ama o so kotwa scan na wo ntimi ameye enso wa be ye wo so hwe no Sanya meni nyina na omo yeman ebo emi etimi hwe omo ye ema se bibi ahyase a etimi ahyase ntem na omo atimi awo afa omo afa omo ba eso dodo na no obo ha o se kaiska onya kais esika mfa kan fri baabi ote ema baabi a ayaresabia no ho
Maame Mary Ajay abusia be gina ne die so na yede anwere no nsia kase boni nyina asi ewo hanom enase enkoma newsroom aboafo kuku agendo akosua so mu asa wode wani chirim ewo MCA director ba akope obapa ya Grace wonu netenete niam kama de ema ye sanso na wonu ma ehwe epiepie mfidie ni ade Simon afi nana yaw na Mr President wase ne ma mesi ye friend Nelson nti yemfa
Nelson owusu
nti Nelson wonu mu nyina ebiebia ne makama na yetimi ede kasebui eba ya kenkanfo mienu a yebesi enkonwa na ede ba midin ede nana Kwame Ajiman Opambo ena
abusia pani owusu adumi so resa mafa me niam ekure ya ya beto dwan se Iran force World Cup no wo mu agyae wo mu nko yentimi nkunkum wo mu nko World Cup na de twen bright too wo ba no abetena se wo mu kwan ya se nkom bewini ese eye topa ya na ma wo no adwojo
eni gi sam so abo
sese
ya sha Arsenal 1
we nyina ya se benti obi a wo se ta mo kwa